Dear students, now we will discuss about the register organization of 8086. As we have seen that in 8086 there are different categories of registers which can be different types of registers used in different applications. These registers can be divided in four different categories. These categories are general purpose register, flag registers, pointer and index registers, and segment registers. So we will discuss each register one by one. First, we will discuss about the general purpose registers. What are the general purpose registers? These registers are used to store 8-bit or 16-bit data in the microprocessor, or the result which may be 8-bit or 16-bit obtained from any arithmetic or logic operation can be stored in these registers. So there are four different 16-bit general purpose registers or 8 different 8-bit general purpose registers. 16-bit general purpose registers are AX, BX, CX and DX, and 8-bit general purpose registers are AH, AL, BH, BL, CH, CL and DH, DL. Always note that here 8-bit or 16-bit data can be stored, and that data can be used in any arithmetic or logic operation, or you can say that the result of any arithmetic or logic operation can also be stored in these registers. Second category of registers are flag registers, about which we have discussed in the separate video lecture in detail. So for flag registers you can refer that video. Third category of registers are pointer and index registers. As we have discussed in the 8086 architecture, that bus interface unit in the bus interface unit, the physical address of the memory is calculated, and that physical address consists of two components, that are two parts: base address and offset address. Complete 20-bit physical address of the memory can be obtained from the base address as well as offset address, and that address is given as physical address is equal to 10 into base address plus offset address. The offset addresses of the different segments of the memory are stored in pointer and index registers. These are also 16-bit registers, and there are 5 types of these registers, 5 different types of the registers. One is instruction pointer, then stack pointer, then base pointer, then source index register, and destination index registers. All the registers are of 16-bit, and these registers are used to store the offset address of different segments of the memory. The last category of 8086 registers are segment registers. Now, what are the use of segment registers? These registers are also of 16-bit, and these registers are used to store the base address of the memory segment. Again, we can remind that physical address of memory is combination of base address and the offset address. The offset address were stored in pointer and index registers, while base address will be stored in segment registers. So there are 4 types of segment registers: code segment, data segment, stack segment and extra segment. Okay, so these registers are all of 16-bit registers. Suppose that the content of code segment register is, suppose that the content of CS is equal to 1525H. That is a 16-bit number. So this content shows the upper 16-bit of the starting address of the code segment of memory, and the physical address of the memory can be obtained by multiplying 10 into 1525 plus corresponding offset address, that is 15250 plus offset address. It means you can say that these registers are used to show the starting address of the starting address of the corresponding segment. Not complete address, not complete starting address, but the upper 16 bit, higher 16 bit of the starting address of the corresponding segment. To obtain the complete starting address of corresponding segment, we have to multiply the content of that segment register by 10, as we have calculated in this example. Friends, these are the registers which are used in 8086 and which will be discussed in other part of 8086 microprocessor and instruction set also.